In the glamorous yet chaotic world of Hollywood, few families command as much attention as the Kardashians. For nearly 2 decades, they've dominated reality TV, social media, and tabloid headlines, turning private drama into public spectacle. But recently, one name has been making headlines in a way that even the Kardashian empire didn't expect. North West, Kim Kardashian's oldest daughter, has become the talk of the internet for all the wrong reasons. What started as harmless social media posts and playful expressions of creativity has turned into a whirlwind of controversy, one that's sparking serious conversations about parenting, fame, and the cost of growing up in the spotlight. According to multiple entertainment outlets, Kim Kardashian is struggling to manage her daughter's increasingly unpredictable public image. North, now 12 years old, has been drawing attention with her bold statements, eccentric fashion, and most recently, her eyebrow-raising social media content. Videos featuring her with fake tattoos, edgy outfits, and seemingly defiant behavior have gone viral, and fans are divided. Some say she's simply expressing herself, while others accuse Kim of losing control as a parent. Insiders close to the family suggest that Kim's biggest challenge isn't North's creativity, it's balancing her daughter's freedom with the intense pressure of public scrutiny. For years, Kim carefully curated her family's image. Every Instagram photo, every interview, every episode of The Kardashians was orchestrated to maintain the family's status as America's most glamorous brand. But North, it seems, is rewriting that narrative, and Kim isn't sure how to stop it. Sources familiar with the family's dynamic describe North as confident, outspoken, and fearless, a child who inherited her father Kanye West's personality more than her mother's controlled composure. Kanye's influence, they say, is obvious. North's bold fashion choices, her unfiltered comments, her love for performance, all mirror her father's rebellious spirit. And that's precisely what makes things complicated. Because behind the glamorous facade, Kim Kardashian's parenting is under more pressure than ever. In a world where every post is dissected and every move is turned into gossip, Kim is walking a tightrope. She's been praised for letting her children express themselves, but now, critics argue she's gone too far. Online debates rage daily. Is North simply being creative, or is she being exposed too young to the toxicity of fame? Earlier this year, a TikTok account shared by Kim and North began trending for all the wrong reasons. North appeared wearing temporary tattoos and fake piercings, posing with a confidence that seemed far beyond her age. The internet exploded. Comments flooded in, accusing Kim of irresponsible parenting and using her daughter for attention. Some users even called for social services to step in, while others defended Kim, reminding the public that North's content is innocent and supervised. Still, the backlash hit hard. Kim Kardashian, who built her career managing public perception, now faces a storm she can't quite control: her own daughter's online identity. Privately, those close to Kim say she's torn. She wants to protect North's childhood, but doesn't want to stifle her creativity. She's proud of North's confidence, but worried about the messages she's sending to millions of impressionable fans. One source told Entertainment Tonight, Kim loves that North has her own personality, but it's getting harder to balance that with the image the public expects. And the tension doesn't stop online. On The Kardashians, viewers have noticed subtle but telling signs of strain. Kim often speaks about the challenges of single motherhood since her divorce from Kanye West. She admits she's overwhelmed, trying to juggle business, fame, and parenting 4 children, all while dealing with a co-parent known for his unpredictable behavior. "There are nights I just cry myself to sleep," she confessed in one episode, her voice trembling. "It's hard, harder than people think." Those moments show a side of Kim rarely seen, not the billionaire mogul, but the exhausted mother trying to do her best in a situation few could handle. And it's clear that North's growing independence is adding to that emotional load. When North performs on social media, fans see confidence. But to Kim, those performances may also reflect the complex emotions of a child caught between 2 very different worlds: her mother's fame and her father's rebellion. Industry insiders claim that Kanye West's influence on North is still very strong. Though the couple's divorce was finalized in 2022, Kanye reportedly remains involved in North's life, often encouraging her artistic expression. He's said to believe that North is a creative prodigy and that she should never be censored. Kim, however, believes in boundaries, especially given how ruthless the internet can be. Their differing parenting philosophies have led to quiet disagreements behind the scenes, often spilling into public tension. A family friend recently told People magazine, "Kim's trying to protect North, but Kanye wants her to be herself no matter what people say." They both love their daughter deeply. They just have very different ideas about what's best for her. Those differences have made co-parenting more complicated than ever. Kim's supporters argue she's doing her best under impossible circumstances. They point out that raising children in the public eye is a challenge few can relate to. Between filming commitments, global business ventures, and endless paparazzi coverage, Kim's life is a constant performance, one that leaves little room for mistakes. And now, as North becomes a celebrity in her own right, the pressure is doubling. Still, critics see things differently. Social media watchdogs accuse Kim of exposing North too early to the world of fame and fortune, a world built on attention, not authenticity. Comment sections are filled with harsh words. Why is a 12-year-old acting like a teenager? Does Kim even supervise her posts? She's repeating the same cycle that made her famous. Kim, however, insists that she's fully involved. She's repeatedly said that all of North's content is jointly managed and that nothing goes online without her approval. But the truth may be more complex than a single quote. Because when it comes to the Kardashians, every post is both personal and promotional. And in that blurred line between family and fame lies the real struggle. Behind closed doors, insiders describe a mother who's genuinely worried about her daughter's future. Kim reportedly fears that the online backlash could harm North's self-esteem. She's also aware that as North gets older, her choices will attract even more scrutiny. In the world of celebrity children, innocence fades fast. And Kim knows that better than anyone. After all, Kim's own fame began with controversy, and she spent her entire adult life trying to redefine that narrative. Now she's watching her daughter step into the same arena, one filled with cameras, opinions, and unforgiving headlines. There's also the question of how much of North's behavior is influenced by her parents' public personas. Growing up with two of the world's most talked-about figures is no small burden. From fashion shows to red carpets, from viral TikToks to paparazzi encounters, North has never known a life outside the spotlight. And while most children learn about social boundaries at school, North's lessons happen in front of millions. Experts in child psychology have weighed in on the situation, noting that early exposure to fame can deeply affect emotional development. Dr. Janine Sherman, a media psychologist, told E! News that children who grow up with constant public attention often struggle to separate their self-worth from public validation. In North's case, every like, comment, and repost could subtly shape how she views herself, and that's exactly what concerns Kim. But the public doesn't see those internal battles. They see the headlines. They see the viral clips. They see the contrast between North's confident online persona and Kim's increasingly worried expressions on camera. And that contrast is what's fueling the media frenzy. Because for the first time, the world is seeing cracks in Kim Kardashian's famously controlled image. Even those who once admired her perfectionism are now asking, is Kim losing control of her carefully built empire? Not through scandal, but through motherhood? It's a question that seems to haunt her recent appearances. In interviews, Kim often sounds defensive, emphasizing how hard she works to raise her children right. She says she wants them to grow up strong and independent, but also safe. Yet every time North posts another controversial video, those assurances ring a little less convincing to her critics. And then there's the influence of fame itself. North West is not just any child. She's a Kardashian West, born into privilege and power. Her friends are celebrity kids. Her life is documented by global media. She's already walking Fashion Week runways, giving interviews and performing on stage. While some admire her confidence, others worry she's being pushed into adulthood too soon. Social media only amplifies that debate. Every video is dissected. Every facial expression is analyzed. And every action is turned into a story, often one that benefits the Kardashian brand, even when it seems scandalous. Because controversy, after all, is currency in the Kardashian world. Still, there's a growing sense that this time, the price may be too high. Kim's empire was built on controlling the narrative, but North's narrative is one she can't fully script, and that's what makes this moment so different and so dangerous. In many ways, North represents the next generation of Kardashian fame. She's bold, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. But she's also a child navigating adult expectations, all while the world watches and judges. Kim's challenge now isn't just to manage a brand, it's to protect her daughter from the same fame machine that made their family rich and powerful. As more footage of North surfaces, showing her outspoken nature and her sometimes rebellious confidence, Kim finds herself in a dilemma with no easy answers. Does she step in and set strict limits, risking North's resentment? Or does she step back and let her daughter find her own way, knowing the internet can be merciless? Either way, the tension is growing, both within the family and in the public eye. Insiders hint that even some of Kim's siblings are starting to question her parenting choices privately. They worry that North's rising fame could bring unwanted drama back into the family, something they've all tried to avoid after years of public scrutiny. And while Kim publicly maintains her poise, those closest to her say the pressure is taking its toll. She's exhausted, constantly second-guessing every post, every decision, every conversation with North. She wants to be the cool mom, but deep down, she fears being the mother who loses control. The whispers inside Calabasas are getting louder, and the question everyone's asking is whether Kim Kardashian, one of the most image-conscious women in Hollywood, can handle the one challenge she can't edit, filter, or manage with a PR team: her own daughter's journey through fame. Because as North West steps further into the spotlight, the lines between childhood and celebrity are blurring, and the consequences of that blur may soon become impossible to ignore. As the weeks passed, what began as a wave of online criticism started turning into something deeper: a public debate about fame, parenting, and the fine line between self-expression and overexposure. Kim Kardashian found herself in the middle of that conversation, not as the trendsetter or business mogul the world once admired, but as a mother under a microscope. Behind the polished photos and elegant red carpet appearances, Kim's private world was unraveling in quiet ways. Friends say she's been trying harder than ever to keep the peace at home, setting boundaries with North, spending more one-on-one time, and even reducing the amount of joint content they post online. But the problem isn't just social media anymore. It's the fact that North has become aware of her influence and she's starting to use it. Recently, at a family gathering, North reportedly made a playful but cutting remark that left everyone silent. "Mom, people like me because I'm real, not because I'm perfect." Those who witnessed it say Kim forced a smile, but her eyes told a different story. For a woman who built her empire on curated perfection, hearing her daughter challenge that ideal cut deeper than she expected. And that's the irony of it all. North West is becoming what many fans secretly love about the Kardashian brand: unfiltered, bold, and unpredictable. But for Kim, that authenticity feels like chaos. Insiders say Kim has been meeting with PR consultants and even child brand experts to figure out how to steer North's growing fame in a safer direction. The concern isn't just about reputation, it's about protection. With millions of followers watching every move, one wrong clip, one misunderstood post can ignite a firestorm. Kim knows how brutal the internet can be, and she's desperate to shield her daughter from that. But North isn't the kind of child who stays quiet. She's outspoken, creative, and completely unfazed by criticism. In fact, the backlash seems to fuel her. When fans online mocked her fake piercings, she responded by doubling down, posting new photos, bolder and more defiant. It's a level of confidence that both impresses and alarms her mother. Because while Kim wants her children to be strong, she also knows how quickly that strength can be weaponized in the public eye. It's a generational clash of sorts. A mother raised in the early days of social media, where image was everything, and a daughter raised in an era that values raw honesty, no matter the cost. Even within the Kardashian-Jenner family, whispers have started to surface. Some insiders claim that Kris Jenner, the family matriarch, has privately urged Kim to take a firmer hand. According to one report, Kris allegedly told her daughter, "If you don't control the narrative now, it will control you." That's classic Kris, the woman who turned a scandal into a global brand. But Kim's situation is different. North isn't a storyline. She's her child. And deep down, Kim knows this isn't a problem that can be solved with a brand deal or a carefully worded post. Meanwhile, Kanye West's shadow still looms large over everything. Though Kim has tried to maintain a sense of normalcy, Kanye's unpredictable public statements and rebellious lifestyle continue to make things complicated. Whenever Kim tries to set boundaries, Kanye reportedly pushes back, claiming she's suppressing North's creativity. Friends close to the rapper say he believes his daughter is the next big cultural icon and that she should be free to express herself however she wants, even if the world isn't ready for it. This ideological tug-of-war between Kim and Kanye has made co-parenting increasingly tense. Sources say they've had multiple disagreements over what's appropriate for North's age, from her outfits to the content she posts. Kim wants control, Kanye wants freedom. And North, caught in the middle, is learning how to play both sides. It's not manipulation, it's survival. In a household divided between two powerhouses, North has learned to assert herself early. She knows what gets attention, what makes headlines, and how to push the limits just enough to stay in the spotlight without crossing the line completely. It's instinctive, a product of growing up in a world where fame is both a language and a lifestyle, but that constant exposure is beginning to take a toll. Behind her confident social media persona, North is still a child navigating an adult world. Friends of the family reveal that Kim has recently started limiting screen time and encouraging North to spend more time with her cousins, away from cameras. She's even enrolled her in more creative classes, painting, music, and writing, hoping to channel her energy into something less public. And yet, even those efforts are met with criticism. When Kim shared a few photos of North's art projects, skeptics accused her of using her daughter's creativity to repair her image. It's a cruel cycle. No matter what she does, the public finds a way to twist it. And that's perhaps the hardest part for Kim, realizing that the very fame that once elevated her family now feels like a trap. But through all the noise, one thing remains clear. Kim Kardashian loves her daughter fiercely. Insiders say she's constantly reassuring North that she's proud of her, no matter what people online say. She's determined to give her the confidence to thrive, even if the world doesn't understand her yet. In private moments, Kim reportedly reminds her children, "People will always talk. What matters is that we know who we are." Still, knowing who you are becomes complicated when millions of strangers think they know you better. The growing media obsession with North West has also reignited old conversations about celebrity children and privacy. Many entertainment journalists have begun questioning whether the next generation of famous kids is being robbed of normal childhoods. From paparazzi photos to fan pages tracking their every move, it's an environment that no adult could handle easily, let alone an 11-year-old. Some critics even suggest that this could become the defining challenge of Kim's career. She's conquered beauty, fashion, television, and business. But if she can't navigate motherhood in the public eye, her entire empire could start to crumble. Because at the end of the day, public sympathy has shifted. Audiences are no longer entertained by endless glamour and wealth. They crave relatability, vulnerability, and authenticity. And for Kim, those are the very things that feel most out of her control. Meanwhile, North's influence continues to grow. Her TikToks generate millions of views. Her appearances on the Kardashians often steal the spotlight. She's even become a topic of discussion on major talk shows, with hosts debating whether her confidence is empowering or concerning. The public fascination with her isn't fading, it's evolving. And Kim, ever the strategist, seems to be realizing that fighting it might be impossible. Instead, she's quietly shifting her approach from control to guidance. Insiders say she's begun consulting with child development experts, not for PR advice, but for parenting support. She wants to learn how to nurture North's individuality without letting it spiral into controversy. It's a humbling move for a woman who once defined control itself. But perhaps the most poignant part of this unfolding story is how much it mirrors the generational shift happening in Hollywood itself. The Kardashians built their empire by mastering the art of illusion. But their children are growing up in an era that values authenticity over image. North's defiance isn't just rebellion. It's a reflection of her generation's hunger for honesty, even when it's messy. And as the cameras keep rolling, Kim is beginning to understand that her daughter's unfiltered nature might not be the downfall of her brand, but its evolution. The old Kardashian playbook, glamorize, filter, perfect, no longer works in today's world. Now what sells is realness. And in that sense, North may be doing exactly what her mother once did, redefining the rules of fame. Still, the emotional cost is undeniable. Friends close to Kim describe her as both proud and anxious. Proud that her daughter is brave enough to stand out, anxious that she might get hurt in the process. Fame, after all, is a double-edged sword. It grants power, but steals peace. Late at night, when the lights fade and the world stops watching, Kim reportedly spends hours scrolling through comments, not out of vanity, but worry. She reads what people say about North, about her parenting, about her family. Sometimes she deletes posts before they go live. Sometimes she hesitates, wondering if she's doing the right thing. But then morning comes, and the show goes on, because it has to. That's the life she built. And through it all, one thing is becoming clear. Kim Kardashian's greatest challenge isn't maintaining her empire. It's learning how to raise a child in a world where fame never sleeps. Because no matter how powerful she is, no amount of money, status, or control can protect her children from public opinion. She can guide them, love them, and teach them, but she can't shield them completely. And for a woman who's built her entire life on control, that realization might be the hardest one yet. Still, there's hope. Those close to the family say that despite the chaos, Kim and North share an unbreakable bond. They laugh, create, and sometimes argue, just like any mother and daughter. Beneath the headlines and speculation, their relationship is filled with genuine love. It's messy, imperfect, and real. And maybe that's what the world needs to see most. Because at the end of the day, behind the designer outfits, behind the viral clips and carefully curated posts, there's just a mother and her daughter, both trying to figure out how to live honestly in a world that watches everything. And while the world debates, Kim Kardashian continues to do what she's always done: adapt, survive, and reinvent. Only this time, she's not just managing a brand, she's protecting her legacy through the eyes of the one person who matters most. North West may be young, but she's already shaping the future of the Kardashian name, whether Kim is ready for it or not. And as that reality sets in, one thing is certain. The story of Kim Kardashian and North West isn't just about fame, rebellion, or controversy. It's about the painful, beautiful evolution of a mother learning to let her daughter shine, even if the world is watching every second of it.